I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with the real. You here been the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come on with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, and welcome back to the World Heavyweights live on sports.com. I'm Easy, joined by the one, the only, the legendary Stick Sam Day.
Good morning.
What up, man?
How you doing, man?
How you been?
I think this is my first time ever on the heavyweights.
I think it is.
I've sat on the couch before, but I've never sat on the desk with y'all.
You sat in the couch, you told us about weather machines.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get into those conspiracy theories later in the show.
We got Chris in the TV booth as always. JB Smooth on the ones and twos, rocking along on a Tuesday. First and foremost, before we get to any topics, I would like to say happy birthday to my normal co-host and one of my good friends, Spinny, Kung Fu Spinny.
And I can't believe that's why he took off work. Like,
I'm with you.
You were 2 hours a day, bro. Like, the show's 2 hours. I know you guys do more prep and everything, but put in those 2 hours. And you said he was out getting a tattattoo right now. That's why I couldn't do it.
Check this out. He's actually crazier than I thought. He's getting 2 tattoos, but like the 2 big-ass pieces.
On his legs?
He's getting one on his leg. He's getting one on his chest.
We got to do a V-Mix check-in with him then at some point this show.
I like that.
At some point,
I'm going to shoot a text during commercial break or something. Yeah.
I'll send a V-Mix.
I like this idea. We should.
But happy birthday, Spenny.
Happy birthday, Spenny.
How old is Spenny?
27.
27, man.
Oh. Older than I thought for some reason. I thought he was like younger.
Really?
I guess it kind of makes sense. He does take his birthday off for work.
Yeah, who takes their birthday? Like, who does that, man?
That's pretty accurate.
Like, usually it's like, oh, my birthday falls during the week. Oh, damn, I got work. But then, I'll celebrate on the weekend or whatever. He's like, no, my birthday falls during the week.
And
I'm out.
You act like the birthday is such a terrible day. Like, everybody's coming up to you like, happy birthday, man.
Yeah,
everybody's treating
it's
you
a good
great.
It's when you want to be around your family, right?
Especially
exactly.
here with the company we got here. Like, I mean, it's not a bad day to be here on your birthday.
It's not. Cake, maybe. It's cake here always.
I was going to say it.
Right. We're attached to
Yeah,
Lady James.
I mean, we've celebrated my birthday here. We celebrate Chad's birthday here. We celebrate lots of birthdays here.
Yeah.
Cakes and all types of fun stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
What's wrong with Woodward, Spenny? Why don't you want to be here?
Notice Spencer last year didn't call off on his birthday because you know where we were at last year.
Yeah.
For his
Where were
birthday.
we? We had the Booty Club.
Coliseum.
Oh,
He was there for that one.
I
was there
remember.
for that
Oh
one.
man,
He didn't call that
and
day
as
off.
I remember, Spenny had a good time on his birthday.
Yeah.
He did have a good time on his birthday.
Wound up
Confirmed.
cashing some checks.
Yes. Yes. Spitty,
It's a location.
What are y'all
man.
doing tonight? Like,
we watched Monday Night Football last night. I'm kind of waiting for the check to roll through. Then
Okay.
we'll do something fun.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
I don't know what we're going to do. You're the guy who knows everyone's partying. You know all the promoters and stuff.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
it's
the
a
spots.
Tuesday night. Let's get into something, man.
What is it? We'll figure it out.
I'll find something by the end of the show. I'll start texting my people.
All right,
There's
deal.
a will, there's a way.
Speaking of our people, we've got a jam-packed show for you guys. GQ, Glover Quinn, former Detroit Lions safety, former Pro Bowler, former leader of the NFL in interceptions, will be joining us at 5:30. He'll have his take on the Detroit Lions game. I've seen him all over Twitter. I know he's pumped up to talk about this one. GQ will be joining the show at a certain point. Beyond that, Detroit Lions injuries just continue to pile up. And it's crazy that the news broke last night. CJ Gardner-Johnson out for likely the season, with the possibility of coming back.
A torn pec too to
Torn
put you
pec.
out for a whole season. I don't know how. I don't know the comeback from all. I don't have pecs, so I don't really have to worry about that. But no, man, what a blow to the team, and what an emotional blow to the team. Because we were talking like this guy's bringing it. He's got that championship experience. He's bringing the ski mask thing in here,
Yeah.
and in 1 week the ski mask kind of faded out, and CJ is just gone. But
Girl.
we got people coming back that could step in that spot.
Yeah. Guy who got hurt last year, Tracy Walker.
And I think Tracy Walker could be that dude. Like when he left last year, you could tell there was a major drop off.
Yeah.
And so if he comes back in and fills that spot, hopefully the Lions can keep on rolling in that position. But man, what an emotional loss. When your emotional leader gets taken down like that, especially first game at home.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
And I saw something. I think it was I don't know who it was. I think it was Brad Galley. Maybe was they're thinking maybe it happened when he pushed off of Kenneth Walker. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
if that's the truth, then
would suck even
like
more.
that's probably. I am not the SOL guy, but if that's the truth, that not only did he get a 15-yard penalty, he tore his pec for celebrating a little too much. That is clear SOL stuff.
Remember Stephen Tulloch's ACL tear?
Oh, when he jumped
doing
up.
the double champ?
Oh, my God.
That one sucked, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this, though, too. I mean, there's positives, and this was his own segment, but it's breaking news. We might as well talk about it now. The Tracy Walker situation, we didn't have him last year, and we still went on to win those 9 games.
Correct.
So I think there's some positive in that. Like not only do you have Tracy there to replace it, but you were still able to, like, fend off and win games last year without CJDJ or Tracy Walker there. So I don't want to use that as an excuse.
Yeah, no excuses. I mean, this is the NFL. Like Joik, when Joik was working here at Woodward Sports, he would always say, it's not if, it's when. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
It's just when you get hurt. And unfortunately for the Lions, it started from the first quarter all the way through the game. And now here we are Tuesday getting more updates about people getting hurt. It's a tough go right now. And as a Lions fan, you know, the one thing that this team couldn't sustain was injuries, right? And that's every NFL team, though. You look at the Bengals right now. Joe Burrow may be out for some time. How are they going to go on without Joe Burrow? You know, so Jared Goff goes down. It's a whole different story for the Lions. You're going to deal with injuries. Hopefully Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done a good enough job insulating this team for injuries. But damn, when you lose your emotional leader on defense, it's tough.
Yes, sir. And Dr. Clappett Cheeks in the Woodward Sports chat already says easy. He's still defending Glenn. The defense looked terrible. I'd like to say this piece in Aaron Glenn. Last year, the Lions defense causing those turnovers, and they're winning games. They finished season 8-2. I didn't hear shit about complaints about Aaron Glenn. But now after one game,
and when they went on the road and only let up 20 points to the defending Super Bowl champions, we didn't hear a peep week one. And that's what I hated. Like, that's what really, really got to me about last week is it allowed all these little haters to come back out of the bushes, peer their little stupid heads out and be like, told you so, Lions aren't that good. Like they've been waiting for that moment. And at the end of the day, it's a loss. If you didn't think they were going undefeated this season, L's are going to happen. Yeah. You got to deal with them. Now, show me how you deal with it. If it compounds this week and they get their ass kicked again, and then they go to Green Bay and get their ass, then we're going to start talking about it. But if they bounce back and kick the hell out of Atlanta this week, do you think we're even going to talk about week 2 anymore? Yeah. Which, kind of nervous about Atlanta, I'm not going to lie. You should be. With the injuries piling up, with them looking better than they are, too. I mean, I don't know. What do you think of their 2-0 situation over there in Atlanta? I think it's predicated on their defense, mostly. Their defense has turned around this year, and then their offense is they're using Bijan like we should use Gibbs. Like they're just feeding that young man the ball. Man. The one thing I don't like about them that I'm afraid will eventually come around this week is Kyle Pitts. Pitts has been very quiet this season. It seems like they've turned him into more of a blocker than a receiver. But we saw what Will Dissly did to us last week. So Pitts may have a breakout game, and that's kind of par for the course sometimes with the Lions. Like, oh, it's his first 400-yard career game. Yeah, of course, it's against Detroit. Matt Flynn, all those situations. You're welcome, Matt Flynn, in that paycheck. That fat contract. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for showing love, too. Yes. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream, woodwardsports.com. We find all the news on Detroit sports. I guess to step out of that real quick, because obviously we're talking about that all day. Did you watch the Monday night games last night? Of course. By the way, F the doubleheader. The Monday night doubleheader. It worked out last night because I was out with the boys. I was just up and awake doing things, but I don't want to watch 2 games simultaneously if I'm just chilling at home. Just give me one on Sunday, one on Monday. What they should do is flip ESPN2 to a dual broadcast where you get both games on the screen. That would make more sense. To me, that would solve a lot of issues because, everybody's flipping back and forth. Yeah. Some people are lucky enough, like Neil Rule, to have 87 TVs in their basement and can watch every single game. But us common folk, we're flipping back and forth. And so instead of the Manning cast, do a split screen of both games so I can act like I'm rich for a night. Yes. That's what I'm saying. At least do that. But I have a question. Deshaun Watson, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, got a guaranteed deal after multiple rape accusations. Now, obviously, that settled outside of court. Wasn't a criminal situation. But either way, looks ass. Is Deshaun Watson done? Are the Browns cooked for giving him this deal and being stuck with it? See, last year I was like, oh, it's just him getting reacclimated with the game, the game speed. He hasn't been able to practice. He hasn't been able to play. This year, you've had all preseason. You've been playing with the number 1 guys all preseason long, practicing with them. You should be up to full game speed, but he just looks slow. And then the first game I watched, the first weekend, he just underthrowing almost every single ball.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have that arm strength. I don't know if it's timing. I don't know if it's confidence.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but he keeps chucking the ball right into the ground 3 feet in front of his wide receiver.
You know, I don't have it in front of me. There was like an interesting stat that came out when DeAndre Hopkins was kind of looking for a home, and it was like quarterback stats with DeAndre Hopkins versus the quarterback stats without DeAndre Hopkins, and it was a drastic difference. Deshaun Watson, you know, on the rise in with Texas, what was a piece of that?
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's one of those guys affected by it.
I think he has serviceable tools in Cleveland.
Amari Cooper, that's what
you
I'm
got
saying,
Amari
though.
Cooper, you know, you had Chubb till last night.
Man, that was rough.
That's tough.
Looked like the same leg, if I'm not mistaken, that happened in college too.
Yeah, and did you see the exchange between Nate Burleson and was it
Ryan
Clark?
Yeah, Ryan
on Twitter
Clark said
today.
it
They
was
were
dirty.
talking.
Nate said it was.
Nate Burleson. You know, Ryan Clark's like, well, where the hell are we supposed to hit a guy? You get yelled at. You know, you get called a dirty player for hitting high. You get called a dirty player for hitting low. Where are you supposed to hit a guy? And then Nate Burleson went on a little rant about like, well,
I didn't read all that.
If you couldn't tell that he was going down, he should have his head up. If it's this, it's this. I'm more with the Ryan Clarks of the world. They have made it almost impossible for defense anymore. Like,
I agree.
And listen, that wasn't a dirty play. He was engaged up top and you took out his legs. That's called tackling. That's called football.
Yeah.
And it's bound to happen. Once again, it's not if but when you're going to get hurt, and it's plays like that.
Listen, I as a bigger guy, when people would tackle me, they'd have to go on my legs.
Yeah.
That's just how you tackle bigger guys. Now, unfortunately, that it's going to happen.
It's a violent game.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they get paid millions of dollars.
Yes, I think it was Dan Patrick was catching some flack because he said he felt like the broadcast should have showed the injury to give fans perspective. This is a circumstance of the sport. Like people are going to get hurt. That's why you can't wish injuries on people. That's why you can't just talk shit to people. Like
Right.
it's a violent sport, and that's essentially what's going to happen. It's unfortunate that it happened. These kind of things, that shit happens in basketball sometimes too. Remember Kevin Ware and the whole NC? I think what college was that?
Remember Kenyon Martin dislocated his knee? I mean, sports are violent.
Paul George.
Especially when you're playing at this level. You know, like these guys are not small dudes. Like I'm 6'4", about 195. But that would be, I would get my ass kicked out there in the NFL by these guys.
You still think you can tackle Joik though?
I could get Joik to the ground. I could get Joik to the ground. No, listen, I'm holding on for dear life, maybe 15 yards down the field, but I think I could tackle Joik.
Yeah. It's unfortunate though because he's just one of the best backs in the game right now. Like I think, arguably the best back in the game before that situation happened. Christian McCaffrey's obviously up there too, but I feel like this year does it feel like a lot of injuries this year? Like,
I'm gonna get my old man hat on right now. Easy, all right. This is what happens when you fuck with preseason like they have. Preseason used to be game 1. They played 1 quarter, your starters. Game 2, they play the first half. Game 3, you play 3 quarters. Game 4, you'd rest your starters, get ready for the regular season. So this way you're building up to the regular season by getting your body ready. Now, it's a 3-game preseason. No fucking starters play because they don't want to get them hurt. And now look, now the first 2-3 games of the regular season are essentially your preseason because your starters are finally getting full-time reps.
Yeah.
And now they're out there getting hurt so often because their bodies aren't conditioned enough. You saw it last year with Dan Campbell on Hard Knocks.
Started the camp with
talking
a hitting
about
drill.
talking about I need to get you guys conditioned. If you think practice is tough right now, it's for one reason. It's your safety. You know, like your shoulders are going to hurt from hitting in practice. You know why? That means they're getting stronger. So when we're at game speed, they won't shatter.
Yeah.
So, like, I just think it's coddling the players, and this is what it's turned into for the NFL. You're going to see more injuries because these guys aren't getting the reps preseason.
It's a big boy sport. Tell us about a big boy restaurant.
Oh, Big Boy Restaurant. Where the hell is that? Big Boy Restaurant. They're all over the place. That's where the hell they are. And they got delicious sandwiches. They got delicious burgers. And, oh, my goodness, that hot chicken sandwich with that coleslaw dripping off the side right now and those juicy pickles. The crispy chicken. Get one today, right now. Newsweek, you know, they already know. They represent Burger King, a local company, so go support them. Burger King restaurants, find one near you. Burger King, BigBoy.com. Sorry.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like a landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. and even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Have you ever argued with your little brother? How about some random guy you're stuck in a room with for an hour? Flannel Sam and Spencer Raxter are at each other's throats. One Spartan alumni and one Walmart Wolverine are locked in a room with nowhere to hide. You're welcome. Whether it's go blue or go green, you can go to woodwardsports.com for all the action. Coming soon to a device near you.
Do you have football in the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year's going to be awesome. Fall also ushers in the perfect time for you to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they can be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177. That's 248-800-4177. What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. I'm Easy. Stick Mo Rax. I get so
I like
used
when
to
you call me Stick Bayless.
Stick Bayless. Got Stick Bayless doing the show. Don't Stick Bayless with me today. Got Chris.
I'll get your ass fired up.
JB
Easy.
Smooth.
I'll have you flipping this
You had
desk.
Flannel going.
Flannel's the easiest to get going.
He is.
Because he is married to his opinions.
Yes.
But because he thinks them out so in depth,
yes.
he's convinced himself that there is no other way of thinking besides his way of thinking because of what makes sense to him. And I love how laser focused he is, but it's so easy to get him off kilter.
Do you believe
Just
that?
like Adam. It was easy to get him off kilter.
Dude,
Remember when I used to get him fucking slamming the desk? And
Yes, Adam was easy to get going for sure. I made Adam break his phone one time.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was there. I had to deal with the aftermath and calm you two down. Good times, great oldies.
Make sure you guys hit the like button. 5-star reviews on all podcast platforms. We're kind of discussing it. By the way, Glover Quinn will be joining the show if you guys missed that information. But we're talking about the injuries. And specifically, we started off with CJDJ. I'm just calling a little bit of an audible because we got GQ joining the show.
That's fine.
We know CJ Gardner-Johnson's gone. As we discussed in the beginning, we have Tracy Walker. They won games without both of those gentlemen last year. I'm kind of okay with that one, but they're stacked at this point. They're piling on each other. You have the Taylor Decker situation heading in the Seahawks game. Big V went down during the Seahawks game. Not only that, you got Emmanuel Mosley, who suffered a hamstring injury during his ACL recovery. I don't know if you caught this. Dan Campbell did an interview today on their flagship station. He said he's not feeling great about that one in terms of Emmanuel Mosley's return. On top of that, you get that Dave Montgomery too. Stick, how are you feeling with the Detroit Lions season now? Not just this game, the season.
Come on, I ain't worried about the season.
Is it over?
No, come on. Anybody who says
freaking
it
out.
over doesn't realize how long this damn season is, and that other teams are going to have injuries too. Guys are going to come back. This is par for the course with the NFL. I'm not worried about it, but it's definitely something to start looking at, right? And, Decker is probably the biggest loss of them all. And then Montgomery behind that, I would say. It looks like Montgomery's going to come back. It's weird the mixed messages we're getting on Montgomery, though. Mm-hmm. He said right after the game, it'll be a couple weeks. Dan Campbell says it's day to day.
Yeah.
Which is it? I don't know. I'm not in the locker room, but I'm more hoping it's Dan Campbell than Weeks, because you saw the difference in the backfield. Without Montgomery in that backfield, the Lions aren't as good. They don't have that power back, and what Montgomery's able to do by pushing that line of scrimmage and breaking through the line and breaking tackles. It was supposed to be a lightning and thunder combination with Jahmyr Gibbs. Now it's just going to be lightning. And, they brought up Knight, who I liked. He's from the Jets. They brought him here. Good runner, but he's not Montgomery. And now you're kind of looking at the Jamal Williams non-signing, even though he didn't light up anything last night. It's just, ugh.
He got hurt last night, too.
I know. But those are the things that, destiny changes things. If he wasn't playing there at that time, he wouldn't have been hurt. And, if Montgomery signed somewhere else, he may have not have been hurt. Now, he may have been hurt before, but we're not going to get into the Back to the Future time machine and try to figure all that out. But either way, I'm concerned about the injuries, but also it's football. If you didn't think there were going to be injuries, Now, if Amon-Ra St. Brown was hurt, I'd be very concerned. If Jared Goff was hurt, I'd be very concerned. I look at those guys as two irreplaceable pieces on the offense.
Yeah.
The line we have shown we can shuffle. They shuffled it last year. That'll take care of itself. Defensively, still don't know what the hell these guys are, but James Houston getting hurt
that sucks.
It does suck. But would you be more concerned if Aiden Hutchinson got hurt?
Yes.
So the top tier is still in there right now. We're just losing a little of these mid-tier guys, and it'll hurt, but you should be able to recover.
The one that I think hurts most, because we see them, they protected Jared Goff pretty well, and they still able to run the football with Taylor Decker out and Nelson in at right tackle, Penei back at left tackle. They still operated well.
Yeah.
Where they didn't operate the same as when David Montgomery went out, and I think that's the most important injury. That one sucks because not only did he prove to you, I don't think he had to prove anything, but he's getting you 4 to 5 yards every time he touches the ball. I think he got stuffed twice in the 2 games that he played. I'm not used to Detroit Lions having a run game like that. I'm not used to having a running back who gets hit but still continues on for 2 more yards before he actually falls down. I love watching David Montgomery.
Yeah.
That sucks because beyond just missing that, you don't have anything to replace that. You don't have anything nearly as close as that. Like you said, Jahmyr Gibbs, first round pick number 12. You're excited to see him. He's limited in his touches. It must be because they're waiting for him to develop, but even if it was, he's not going to give you what Dave Montgomery was.
I'm so sick of this waiting for him to develop thing. I get it. You want to wean him in, but like I said earlier in the show, Bijan Robinson, you think they're waiting for Bijan Robinson to develop, or are they feeding that dude the ball almost every play in Atlanta? No, they're feeding him, and look, they're winning because of it. You don't draft a guy 12 and ease him into the system. You draft a guy 12 and shove him down your opponent's throat because he's an absolute weapon. I've been shocked that they haven't put him in the slot more. That's where I thought we would see him play. I thought Montgomery in the backfield, Gibbs in the slot, gives you a lot of options, but we haven't even seen him in a wide receiver mode yet. And I figured at least that would give him better game speed with some safety. So they got to use Gibbs. This week is Gibbs versus Robinson, in my opinion. Which rookie can win is who's going to win the game.
I think, man, you bring up a point that I hinted towards yesterday, and I said it even before the season started, and I caught flack for it. And I get it because we're Detroit Lions fans, and we ride for ours, no matter what. But you mentioned Bijan Robinson getting touches and producing right now already. That was the perceived number 1 back in the draft. That was the guy the Detroit Lions could have sat and taken at 6 before he went off the board at 7 to Atlanta. That's a guy that you took Bijan to be a weapon. I'm sorry, you took Gibbs to be a weapon and catch passes out of the backfield and do all that extra stuff like that. Bijan's doing the same thing in Atlanta right now. And he looks damn good doing it.
And this isn't a knock on Gibbs. Because how can you knock a guy that's not getting used?
Yeah.
So we don't know if it's his talent. We don't know. If he's not getting the reps and he's not getting the touches that he needs to get into a rhythm, and the coaching staff isn't using him properly, I'm not going to hold that against the player.
Yeah.
Like Ben Johnson, you came back here because we had new toys, you loved the offense, you liked Jared Goff, and we gave you some weapons. Use them. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, what the hell are you waiting? What does Gibbs know now that he didn't know week 1?
I have a bit of reserve on that situation, though, just because I do respect this coaching staff so much. I do.
I do too.
I've never seen anything done.
But that doesn't mean I can't question them.
That's fair.
I love my mom. I love my dad, but I don't agree with everything they do. I respect them, but we have difference of opinions on things. I love Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is my guy. I don't want Dan Campbell to leave anytime soon. But what I do want Dan Campbell to do is punt the fucking ball on 4th and 4.
I love the 4th down stuff. I'm not
I do too.
Yeah.
When it's smart, not when you're up by 3 in your own zone.
Was that the one where they got the
that's
the one
when
that-
it's stupid. That's when you're turning over momentum. Like, I loved week 1 out of nowhere. Nobody expected that, but the game was early. You had time to make it up. Third quarter, you're up by 3 at home. You punt the fucking ball. That's Madden 101.
Was that the one with the no call on Josh Reynolds?
Yeah. But okay, we're gonna blame no calls. You can't.
I'm not blaming the no call, but I mean it would have been a catch for sure if he wasn't tackled by the freaking cornerback beforehand.
That's fine. Whatever. The play didn't work. Regardless, history's going to show that you didn't convert 4th down. It's not going to show what penalty didn't get called.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to discuss the coaching situation too. GQ comes on because it sounds like if you follow him on Twitter, he's been kind of like quote tweeting fans like, "Hey, GQ, come back." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know him like that, but if they call," I'm curious to see his take on that one too because I'm part of the defend the Glenn situation. But these injuries do hurt me. I almost called you spinning. They do make me nervous just because like they're all pieces in the cog of what was like this elite offense. Like that offensive line, number 1 on it.
Yep.
You got 2 pieces now missing from that one, which I think they'll be able to operate with. But the Dave Montgomery missing along top of that sucks. On top of that, though, Emmanuel Mosley was supposed to be like the CB1. That was the guy dressed as like the best cornerback on this team. One of the people, the prized possessions from coming out of free agency. You see the guy who's going to be replacing eventually was Jerry Jacobs. It's also a guy who got cooked all day Sunday. Like a tailgate barbecue. Like
He
was
looked
getting,
like me out there.
It was bad, dude.
The one play that stands out to me is when he ran into the end zone. I think it was 3rd and 10, and he played about 15 yards off, ran into the end zone, and all they had to do all Lockett had to do was turn around and catch a first down.
Yeah.
No effort, no
Easy
nothing.
square route.
It was little league stuff, and it's like Jacobs. When you're backed up on the goal line, you have the defender of the goal line behind you. Get up on your man, push him. Now I don't know if that was a scheme thing and they wanted him to play off.
Yeah.
But it didn't work, whatever it was. Whether it was a scheme or Jerry Jacobs' ability, they both failed.
As we watching that play today, it looked like Jack Campbell had the flats, and it was just I don't know if it's a scheme that Jerry's back up 8 freaking yards from Tyler Lockett or what. But then the following play after, he got burnt for the touchdown for Tyler Lockett in the end zone. He just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Whether it was a man, whether he was in a zone,
Yeah.
it was a bad day for him. And you had Emmanuel Mosley to look forward to, but now you're hearing he has setbacks in his comeback. The season's not over. Again, we didn't have these guys last year, and they still won 9 games. I want to repeat that once again. It's just today is a solemn day. It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was a solemn day. Now I'm over it. Now I'm on to the next one, focusing on Atlanta. And I know that's coach talk, and I know that's what players say, but it's got to be your mental. If you hang on to a loss at home, you're not going to be focused for the next time, and you're going to get your ass kicked again. So they got to be focusing on Atlanta, because just like week 1, if they lost week 2, the week 1 victory didn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, if they win week 3, the week 2 loss doesn't sting as much. You're sitting there 2-1. You're still probably top of the division. The Bears look like absolute ass. I'd be a little worried about Green Bay. I don't think people give them enough credit because everybody sucks off Aaron Rodgers so much they didn't think Jordan Love could actually run an offense. Turns out he can.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a pretty decent quarterback.
Called that, by the way.
And then, the Vikings, not really worried about the Vikings this year. So it's Green Bay and Detroit for the division until things change or until one of our major pieces goes out. I'm still taking Detroit.
I'm still taking Detroit, and I'm still taking Mark White when it comes to buying or selling real estate because I love the flexibility it comes with. How would you like canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty at all? It's exactly what Mark White Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try it today by calling 248-290-8242 or visit markwhitesells.com. That's 248-290-8242 or markwhitesells.com.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field, which can also be used for 7-on-7 football. With grades K through 8 that feature AM and PM latchkey, smaller classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, and so much more. And the Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment, so go and check them out online today at academyofwarren.net. Now, back to the heavies.
What up, though? Welcome back to the World Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. I'm Easy. We got Stick in the building.
What up, dude?
Yo, Chris, JB Smooth, Glover Quinn joining us at a certain point, too. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I'll put a like goal on that one. What number we think? Like 200? 169?
For
For GQ?
Quinn?
Yeah, for joining the show.
Yeah, come on. Easy 200. Easy
All right, 200?
2 bills.
All right. We'll make it 200 likes. 200 likes. Glover Quinn will be joining the show. I'm actually really excited to talk to him because I want to talk about the AG stuff. And I need to know, was it a player? Was it the Joes or X's and O's in that situation? Because Jerry Jacobs looked cooked either way.
Not just Jerry Jacobs. I want to know what the fuck Seattle knows about the Lions defense.
Yeah.
And when he watches the tape, what does he see that's the weakness, you know? Because that's the scary thing about the NFL. When you put out a tape like they did on Sunday, every other team's going to look at it and be like, all right, this works, this works, this works, this works, and then try to implement the same thing. So you kind of showed your ass on Sunday. Now you're going to have to cover it up for every other team that's coming in.
Chris, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, my question is, though, is it the Lions showing their weaknesses, or was it just simply that the defensive line just did not get enough pressure at all, and that just allowed them all the time in the world to where eventually somebody was going to get open at some point? Like,
that's part of it for me.
I think that's where I fall on it, is that they just had so much time. I mean, when you have that much time back there, you can go through every single read. You can double down. You can check everything you want to check before you even have to make a move when you have that little pressure on you. So I feel like it wasn't necessarily the Lions looking bad. It was just the defensive line just gave their offense all the time in the world. And this NFL favors the offense. So if you give the offense more time, the offense is going to make plays.
That's what I meant to.
As our friend Neil Rule says, both things can be true, right? They showed their ass. They put it on tape. And, okay, so you're saying the main thing that they showed is they couldn't pressure the quarterback. Yeah. Well, now the blocking scheme of Seattle's out there. Now how they were running, how deep the tackles were dropping on pass protection. How were they running 3-step drops? Were they running 7-step drops? Were they rolling out the pocket? So everything's on tape now. So even if it was just one thing, that weakness is there for everybody to see.
Yeah, I'm with. I lean more Joe's, but I'm not. I don't think AG is like absent any blame. It also doesn't help. Again, like you mentioned, that the 4th and 2nd or 4th and 4th, whatever it was, where Josh Reynolds got tackled by Witherspoon. You're not putting AG in the best position. You're also same thing when you fumble the ball. Much I love Dave Montgomery when he gives the ball to him. You're not putting AG in a great position.
No, I mean, what'd they give up? 14 points off of turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, they only scored 1 touchdown heading into halftime. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the 2 turnovers, turnover on downs, turnover the ball, and then you pick 6. Like it looks a lot worse than it actually was. And so I don't understand like the fire AG stuff. It blows my mind.
The fire anybody stuff 2 games into the season is just absolute. Especially when you're 1-1. They were 0-2 and they laid an egg in Kansas City and it was 42-7 or something like that. Then yeah, but I mean, let's face it, they lost in overtime. The coin flip went the way of Seattle. If Detroit gets that ball, you're telling me they're maybe not going to go down and score a touchdown? Then everybody's the Lions are the greatest. Like, it's such a thin margin, and that's what I hate when people overreact, especially in a game like that. There are no moral victories, but the Lions didn't go out there and lay an egg. They went out there, they went shot for shot with Seattle. A couple mistakes were made. You're never going to win. Not never. The odds of you winning any NFL game when your turnover ratio is 3-0 is pretty much slim to none.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were even to take that into overtime is a positive sign if you want to focus on something positive. The loss is a loss. It's not a good thing. but they didn't go out there and get their ass kicked. They were competitive the whole game. The offense looked very good in a lot of spots. One major mistake by Jared Goff, his first one in over 300 passes. And that's going to happen in football, man. Yeah, fuck you, Easy, man.
Hey, that was your fault. You came in and jinxed them right before the drive started. You and they just came with all the little negative energy.
I just know how the universe works, man. And I was like, listen, this is the time where Goff could throw an interception, and this will give the Goff haters all the material that they need. Oh, look, Seattle, both seasons, pick sixes. Oh, look, he made a mistake. And it's like, the guy makes one mistake. Every quarterback will throw a pick six this season. Everyone will.
We'll see. No, Jared Goff did.
Jared Goff did.
Mahomes did too.
Mahomes did too.
Yeah.
Mahomes was picked. Mahomes was picked. Jared Goff's intercepted. He just threw it right to it.
But if you listen to Dan Campbell,
what do you mean? Come on.
If you listen to Dan Campbell in his post-game interview, he said it was more on the route than it was Jared Goff.
He said they got to watch it back. Then Jared Goff at the podium, and I watched the game today too. It was, and I'm not abusing Goff. It was on Goff. He saw him say, "Sorry, pause." Gibbs gave him a little hand.
That's what you want. Of course, Goff's going to own it.
No,
that's what he has to do.
I'm saying
that's
like,
what a real quarterback and a man does.
For sure. But
even if it's not your fault, that's me. I got to be better.
Yeah.
I want that out of my quarterback.
That one, unfortunately.
But the head coach going to tell me what it really is. Hey, the receiver fucked up.
I feel like it was a route, but we'll watch the tape.
Right.
After the tape was watched today, I can confirm. I was like, "God, but he played great." Outside of that, he really did. He had a phenomenal game. I want to talk about the running back situation, though, just because this guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, drafted at pick number 12.
Yep.
We're watching the other guy that you could have taken, Bijan Robinson, ball out of his mind right now.
Yep.
In his rookie season. And Jahmyr Gibbs limited to 7 to 9 carries both games. What's up?
I don't get it. Like, I'm not the type of guy to go buy a Ferrari and set it in the garage. Like, and that's what I feel that the Lions are doing with Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, you went out there, you got him, you're paying him, right? He's getting a check, right? He's under his rookie contract, right? Play the man. Like, it's that simple. He's on the roster. And now look, because you were workload conscious with him, you may have given a couple more carries to Montgomery that you wouldn't have.
Oh, stop.
Tell me you're not putting more wear on Montgomery by protecting Gibbs than you would be giving them a split.
You watch both of them run behind this offensive line.
Tell me you're not putting more of a load on Montgomery by protecting Gibbs.
You are, but that didn't get him hurt.
Okay.
They get him hurt.
You don't know.
Who looked better as a runner?
I'm not saying Montgomery looked bad. I'm just saying.
No. I'm saying Dave Montgomery looked better though.
Of course he did. He looks better as in between the tackle runner.
Yeah, for sure.
Edge-wise, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. No, listen, to me, you saw this coaching staff go out there last year, and you literally got to watch it happen firsthand with Hard Knocks. When they told him, as Coach Kelvin Shepard told the linebacking room, listen, I don't want to have to start a 4th-round rookie, but the way you guys are playing out there, I'm going to have to. They start their guys and play their guys based off talent and capability and availability, obviously with injuries too. As of now, it's clear to me, with this coaching staff specifically, Gibbs hasn't shown that to them. He hasn't gained enough trust in the coaching staff for him to get those amount of reps. You heard about the drop balls in training camp. I'm not bashing Brad Holmes because there was a stat that came out. I think it was Jimmy Reisner brought it up. Jeff brought it up a little bit earlier too. Actually, we have a graphic for this one too. And this is to kind of calm everybody's nerves, by the way. This is a list of running backs in the first 2 games. Guys that are kind of comparable to Jahmyr Gibbs too. We want to throw this one up here, Chris.
Yeah.
Here we go. First you got Alvin Kamara, Jamal Charles. Here's their first 2 games. Similar, the graphic was supposed to be before, I apologize. Similar to what Jahmyr Gibbs output too. Go ahead and throw the Jahmyr Gibbs one up too.
Okay.
So that's great. I mean, that's nice.
Sean McCoy, Jahmyr Gibbs, similar.
Yeah.
But what hurts is this last one.
You know what? I could do the same thing with R2's Pinner and 5th-round draft picks too, that they only got 7 carries. Like,
this is the one that hurts.
Proves nothing to me.
This guy.
29 attempts, more than double.
Now that's usage.
180 yards.
But you know what? I'm sensing a trend with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, because look what they did with Jamison Williams last year. Oh, we're just going to play him a couple plays so he gets that NFL speed. It's like, you drafted this guy because he's faster than anybody in the fucking league. What do you mean you need him to adjust to the speed?
They played him. I mean, they had him on punt return, for God's sake.
They played him, but
he just wasn't right. He didn't know the playbook.
But was he the guy? Like, you know what I mean? Last season, they look up, if you can, how many snaps he had his first couple games, and it was a very limited snap count for Jamison Williams. I don't know why they're doing this with these guys. If you're not drafting guys in the first round that are ready to play in the NFL today, you're doing yourself a disservice. First-round picks should not be slow rolls. You can do that with a second-round pick. You can do that with a third, fourth, fifth. But a first-round pick should be a day-one impact player.
But that's my thing, though. This coaching staff doesn't slow roll guys out. They started Malcolm as a fourth-round pick last year at the linebacker position.
And that's what I'm saying.
These guys aren't...
With the fancy finesse positions,
yeah,
it seems like they want to protect these guys.
Well,
with the Smash Brothers, just go out there and kill. And I wish they had that same mentality. This is one of the things I'm starting to notice about Dan Campbell that's really weird to me, is that aggressive mentality over here, cautious here. Just like aggressive all game, cautious right before the end of the game to kick the field goal. Like, you can't, if you're going to be an aggressive dude, be an aggressive dude all day, every day. Don't change your spots. But he's changing his spots and treating people different. It's starting to be weird. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I only have small tastes of it.
Yeah.
But it's something I'm paying attention to.
I'm going to make you feel better about it right now, because you look at that situation, one defense, one offense. And you think about this offense. Ben Johnson's noted as a genius, a complicated offense at that too. That's one thing is going on with these guys in terms of Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams. They don't have the offense down quite yet. Again, this coaching staff isn't scared to put guys out there. Today, actually, on this very team, you have a rookie, Sam Laporta, who's seeing just more snaps than both those guys every day.
Right.
But he's got the offense down clearly. He's a step ahead of those guys. I don't think it's a caution and slow rolling them. I think it's they just don't have it down. And I think that's where you get kind of disappointed in the fact that these guys were first-round investments. And they don't have, you know what I'm saying, like they shouldn't be slow rolled. Like you said, they should be ready to go. But that happens.
If you're drafted 12 overall, I want you playing day one.
Yeah.
Unless you're a quarterback, then we could sit you behind for half the season or a year, learn the offense, then get your ass out there and see what you got.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a cautious thing. I think they just don't have the grips on a complicated offense. There was a piece by Tim Wynn, whatever the Korean name was, like NGY. I don't know how to pronounce that one. But he put it out there. You know, his defensive coordinators last year were like so just like bombarded with how to like prepare for this Lions offense because they have tackles pulling, they have guards pulling, they have the wham blocks. Remember the fourth down play they had actually this past week in Seattle where like it's just a bunch of weird shit.
I get it, but coach them up. Spend more time with them. Get them up to speed. That's your job. You know, your job isn't to just hopefully wait for them. And if it's like, oh well, they're not picking up on the offense, then that's a disservice that you did in the recruiting process in vetting them out. Because if you couldn't find out that they're not quick learners, that they can't absorb the offense quick, that's an issue too, and that's something that Brad Holmes, you're evaluating people. You should know if Jahmyr Gibbs is slow to learn the offense. You should know if Jameson Williams is slow to learn the offense. And if they have learning disabilities when it comes to football, they're in the wrong profession.
Jamal Charles in the Special Olympics, fun fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he win?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Then we're fine.
Stick, how about you tell us about Guardian Alarm?
Guardian Alarm, man, what else can I say about Guardian Alarm? They've been around forever, but they didn't just stay still. You know what they did? They evolved with a security game. They upgraded it, and they got all the electronic and technology that you need. 24-hour surveillance, and all you got to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT to feel safe while you're sleeping at home, or feel safe when you're on the road. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Give them a call today. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm since 1930.
How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at WoodwardSports.com.
Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary, the best dispensary around, and your local cannabis plug. You want to know why? There's 12 locations across this great state. And if you guys can't make it there, they'll deliver it to you. JB might be the one dropping it off. Visit DISPOshops.com.
Really? They deliver to White Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah,
brand new one, Whitmore Lake, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they'll deliver it to you. Come through. Guys, make sure you check out Dispo Shops, DISPOshops.com, your local cannabis plug. By the way, I forgot to mention, we'll be there Friday. Turn it up.
Oh, you couldn't ask me to fill in Friday. It's Friday. I bet you if Friday was Spenny's birthday, he'd show up.
Yeah.
Guarantee you
want to
would.
know why, too?
100%.
We give out free food on Friday at Dispo.
Cheeseburgers.
Which Dispo?
Man.
Which one are you at this Friday?
We're at Dispo Romeo.
Romeo?
You should check that one out. It's the first game in small Michigan. It's lit.
Got to get a T-burger.
Oh,
definitely.
Spenny calling in VMix today?
Let me text him.
I sent to Slack, so.
Yeah, it's the Slack.
Let's get an update on this tattoo that
We do.
Spenny's getting. That was so
I
damn
do it.
important. He
Actually,
couldn't
we
be
have
doing your job today.
We have a picture of it,
I
actually.
do have a picture.
What is
I do
it?
have a picture.
What's he getting?
Is
he getting the golf?
This is where we're at.
It's he's a big anime guy. So this is like some anime dude after like one of his favorite moments.
Nerd.
And yeah, he's a nerd. Speaking of nerd.
And that's on his thigh, too.
Yeah.
Dude.
Spade's gonna start wearing shorts around this mug. I mean, he's been going to the gym.
Yeah,
So,
he's looking lean and mean.
Yeah, so we start seeing him a little bit shorter shorts. I guarantee that. You start seeing that tattoo a little bit more too. And he's got something going on his chest today for his family. It's
Okay.
like their initials. And it's a whole thing. But yeah, we'll be there Friday at Dispo. Free food and all that jazz. Moving on. Or I guess if you don't want to move on, Chris, you had something to say. You kept raising your hand for last segment.
No,
About the
it was just the snap counts. Do you want me to read them again for the audience?
Essentially, it was what? Everything was under 25%,
Yes,
right?
everything was at its peak. It was 25%, but the first 4 games were under 20% themselves. So
Yeah.
I mean, this guy bottom
8
line
snaps
hasn't done
his first game, right?
Yeah.
8 snaps.
Yes, 8 snaps.
And how many targets? Do we have targets?
Targets. Let me see.
I think he had
here.
like 3, 2.
I know he caught his first
the one
target for
touchdown,
the touchdown.
The one against
target.
the Jets, and then he had another out route one against the Vikings that didn't.
Yeah.
Was it 3?
No, it was 1 against Jacksonville.
Oh, that's a catch.
Is that catch?
Jacksonville. That was against the Vikings.
So once again, this just goes to the point that they're drafting these fast guys that we're told are high draft picks and then just not using them. It makes no sense to me. No sense. And I love Brad Holmes. I love Dan Campbell. But like I said, I love my parents too, and I question some of the things they do.
That's fair. I mean, is it a Brad Holmes thing that?
I don't know. I'm not in that room, so I don't know what the discussions are. But I know, like, when I'm watching the war room and they get these guys in the draft, like, look how pumped they were to get J-Mo.
Yeah.
Look how pumped they were to steal Gibbs. Look how, like, Brad Holmes pounded his chest like, y'all don't know about Jahmyr Gibbs. I know about Jahmyr Gibbs. We want to know. We all want to find out about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's this week against Atlanta. So then Brad Holmes could be like, y'all wanted Bijan. Jahmyr just put up 203 TDs.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm cool with being patient, too, because, like, again, with the graphics up earlier of LaShawn McCoy's first 2 games, Alvin Kamara's first 2 games, Jamal Charles' first 2 games, these are the pro comps for a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. These guys started off slow just as well. Except for, Bijan Robinson, they could have started off a little bit quicker.
Could it be a Ben Johnson thing, though, that Ben Johnson is slow to trust people? Like, in terms of the offense?
So he's the Larry Brown of the NFL?
Yeah.
Remember that was the knock on Larry Brown?
Yeah.
He wasn't going to play rookies?
He wouldn't play rookies.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know, man.
thank God
If there's
some sense
one
with Tayshaun.
coordinator outside of the screenplay to freaking Craig Reynolds that I'm hardly questioning on this roster,
That was a fine play call.
it's an awful play call.
It was a fine play call.
How about this? What was the result of that play call?
Huh?
What was the result of that play call?
I mean, results and what you call are 2 different things. But just because you call something and the play gets blown up doesn't mean it was the wrong call. I like that they were
means
using,
it was the wrong call.
I
Got
like that
blown
they were
up.
distracting with Gibbs on that play. And they're like, who the hell thought they were going to throw to Craig Reynolds?
Let Gibbs
You sure as
establish
fuck didn't.
himself. Let Gibbs get some respect in this league before you use him as
If that pass is completed, that's a good play. But
Yeah, he should have thrown to Gibbs. They're going to do that. That was my beef with it. But if there's one guy I'm not questioning with bringing players along and integrating them into this offense, it's Ben Johnson. So I'm not really tripping.
It's fair to question, but like I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing. Like I'm not looking at Ben Johnson like I'm not bashing him for it, but I think that might be the thing. Is maybe he's just because he has such a
scheme.
specific offense with a very complicated scheme. He's probably just slow to trust people and maybe kind of putting the training wheels on longer than he should for some people.
But again, I don't even think it's like longer than you should. You look at the numbers. If you want to throw them up again, like the numbers of these guys that are his pro comps, they're very similar. Less, honestly, outside of LaShawn McCoy. I mean, look at that. That's got to make you feel better, Stick. Come on.
it doesn't, because I can pull up a bunch of shitty running backs who have the same comps too.
But these are good. But these are good ones.
Like, if you're only getting 2 attempts a game, there's a lot of shitty running backs that are getting 2 attempts a game.
But these are good backs with similar situations.
I can pull up Anthony McFarland's stats from 2 years ago too. Same thing.
But you can see 2 slow starts for multiple like elite running backs, so you know it's like it's a common thing.
It's too small of a sample size for me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what part 2. Like I think people should freak out less.
No one's saying it's over though.
No
one's saying it's over.
No,
That's
no.
actually
I'm not
the
saying
opposite.
it's over. I'm not even saying Gibbs is bad.
Right?
I just want more.
Yeah.
More. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
Exactly.
Like, stop holding him back. Let him go. Give the guy 25 carries a game. Target him 5 times, and let's see what the hell he is. If he's Kamara, fine. If he's CMC, fine. If he's neither, let's learn right away. Then we can make an adjustment. Right now, we're not learning a damn thing, and that's what's pissing me off. Is I don't know. We're going on week 3 of the season, and we don't know.
Yeah.
So,
but it's early. Week 3 is early.
It is early. But my question is, what did Jahmyr Gibbs learn between 2 Sundays ago and this Sunday? What's going to be so astronomically different?
I guarantee you there's a lot. I guarantee you there's a lot. Especially within his offense, especially with the type of weapon he's supposed to be, too. I mean, you got to think about it, like, he's got to know multiple roles at that point. You obviously have him in as a running back. We have him as a receiver, too. I mean, you see slots or slants where they're crossing, they're essentially pick plays. Like, Amon-Ra scored on one against KC. Just weird nuances like that he has to learn. On top of just being around the veteran defensive players that are key to, like, certain things you can give up. It's complicated, man. And it's early. I don't think anyone should be freaking out or bitching or anything like that either.
I'm not. Like I said, like, my biggest complaint is I want more. It's not that I'm saying, oh, you're using this rookie too much or oh, it's fine. I'm just like, bro, just use the guy. Especially now that Montgomery's out, you have to use him.
Yeah.
You have to. You're not going to go tonight to be your starting running back.
Dan Campbell says by committee.
Great. That's fine, but the committee should be led by one Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, that's where I do have a little bit of beef. But again, those numbers from those previous backs do make me feel a bit better about it. But it's like, if you do invest in a guy at number 12, he should be everything you said he should be.
Yeah. Listen, if I'm paying $100,000 for a car, it's not sitting in my fucking garage.
Yeah.
I am driving it, and I'm showing y'all that I spent $100,000 on a car.
Yep. That is like the one concern I'd say, and the one where I'm less. Like on the side of like, okay, cool, you're rolling them out. It's actually the same position group that Malcolm got to start last year, is the Jack Campbell one. Just because watching the game back again today too, Anzalone made the sack and he made a couple Anzalone looked bad. Anzalone looked bad, and that's why I'm.
So he looked like Anzalone.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Come on,
I'm not gonna fight you on
we're
that.
expecting Anzalone to take a leap this year? No,
fine.
I thought he was a stopgap last year, and then they made him the captain.
Yeah.
Like, I get he understands the defense, but sometimes those who can, or those who teach, can't. You know what I mean? And that's what he is.
That's why a lot of coaches.
He's smart. He gets the scheme, but he can't execute it because he doesn't have the athletic ability to be there.
Deion Sanders is such an anomaly because he's like one of the only that I can think of star players turned star coach. That looks like a good coach. Usually coaches are, like you said, the guys who couldn't.
Right.
Like Dan Campbell had a sit-down interview with Jason Garrett the other week. He's like, I want guys with my mentality, but obviously more talented than I was.
Right.
You look at Doug Peterson, like a great coach, was a backup quarterback his entire career. Bill Belichick was a backup DB. Like you're exactly right. Those who can't become coaches. Maybe that's the only he's down that road. But Jack Campbell is the guy I'm pissed off about. That's the guy I want to see on the field a little bit more, because linebacker, you didn't see another linebacker drafted in this class until I think the 3rd or 2nd round. Late 2nd.
Yeah, but honestly, with all that I've been saying about running backs and wide receivers, I think quarterback and your middle linebacker are the 2 positions where they need to actually absorb everything, because they have to know where everybody is, not just their assignment. Like, Jamison Williams needs to know what route he's running, right? Gibbs needs to know what hole he needs to hit. Goff needs to know what route, what hole, what blocking assignment, who the mic is, all that stuff. So your quarterback needs that. And it's the same thing with whoever the middle linebacker is. He needs to know who's slanting, what the offensive line is doing, who they're singling. Like, he needs to know a lot more. So I'm okay with slow rolling those 2 positions, middle linebacker and quarterback. Outside of that, just get out there and play ball. I
think linebacker, you're good. We saw Malcolm do it last year. That's like what's going on with Jack
It's more
Campbell.
to do with a lack of talent around him.
I mean, there were still guys in there, though. I mean, Derek Barnes was in that room, and he's starting over both of them now.
Yeah.
Oh, it took him time to come along. I understand that journey, that story, and stuff like that too. But like Jack Campbell, I guess that's the one. And again, you got to point to Brad in these situations. Although again, week 2, maybe a little bit early, but there's still the conversation being had. Why isn't Jack Campbell in the game? I mean, at 6'5", I saw a play where it was a Will Dissly one. He did have a great play week 1.
Yep.
Did he have a great play week 2?
I did not see it. No one on the defense had a great play.
Did.
I mean, there was honestly no great plays. You know, Brian Branch didn't really show up. Anzalone had the lone sack, but that wasn't an Anzalone sack. That was Geno Smith being an idiot and just kept running backwards for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, so like no one on defense we can point to that had a good game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think of somebody.
No one.
I mean, maybe it would have been CJDJ had he had a pec for the entire game. He finished that game with a torn pec. Kudos to him. But
and he blew. Yeah. Oh, great. He's tough.
Mm-hmm.
He's got grit. That's nice. But you know, not playing the rest of the season. That 15-yard penalty on the first drive absolutely crushed not the whole game because it was so early, but the momentum that was like that place was going absolutely insane. They come out, they get a stop, and you blow it just by going like this. Like. Yep. It was, to me, the most boneheaded. It was worse than a Ndamukong Stew stomping on a dude.
It let air out of Ford Field a little bit.
It really did, because it was like, we stopped him, yeah. And then you look at the field, you're like, wait, what happened?
Oh.
And then he's looking up, denying it, instead of like, my bad, I'm an idiot, I shouldn't have done that. He's up there like, oh, what are you talking? Like, we all saw it. I forget, what was it, 2 years ago? Who was it that headbutted the referee and was like shocked that he got called for a flag?
Jamie Collins. That was an accident, though.
Oh, yeah, on accident. What? Why are you that close to the official? What do you mean?
Deshaun Watson pushed the referee out of the way last night, didn't get a flag. You guys do that?
Well, Deshaun Watson touches a lot of people without repercussions, apparently.
That's fair. Tell us about Planet Fitness.
Got him.
Got him. Planet Fitness. Fall time is a great time for Planet Fitness and to beat that low energy. You know, you're not getting as much sun. You need that vitamin D. You also need that workout from Planet Fitness. $10 a month can get you in the door. Then you can upgrade to that black card where they got the massage chairs, the free tanning, and all the other good stuff that goes along with it. Planet Fitness, there's one near you. Your fitness is essential.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
What could be better than watching celebrities like Braylon, Darren McCarty, and Tim McCollum play golf? Playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity, that's what. Stop at any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation,
Tell me you
free
added
golf.
That's not on there.
It's not on there.
Thank God.
One of Michigan's best tracks and tasty steak dinner, compliments of Fairway Pack & Co. Make the wise decision and get Randy Wise today for your chance to win. Because they hyped up the celebrities, and then you watch the video.
That's all Tim?
Yeah, it's like Tim.
With his finder? I saw it earlier.
I was like, join up. Come play golf with Tim. Hit that like button if you guys have already. 5-star review on all podcast platforms. I'm Easy. That's Stick, a.k.a. Sam Dave. We got Young Chris, JB Smooth. Hit the like button for the legend, by the way. Stick's the one who brought me into Woodward Sports. Shout out to him.
Dude, you were doing your own thing in your basement, killing it on your own YouTube channel. They're like, man, better make this kid a part of Woodward Sports before he crushes us. So it was a business decision, Easy. And you know what we did? What did we do? We saw talent, we brought it in, we fucking used it.
Yes.
We didn't sit there and slow roll you and be like, well, you shouldn't go on the air until you learn everything. No, Easy. You're good at YouTube. Take over YouTube. That's how you do it.
This just in. Easy smarter than Jahmyr Gibbs. Confirmed.
Yeah, this just in. Easy can learn a playbook.
I did want to ask this, and by the way, I think there's a Falcons fan trolling the chat. I'd like to invite him to call in because I don't know much about. Like the Falcons played the Packers, and the Falcons played the Panthers. I think the Packers are better than a lot of people think.
Yes,
but neither of those teams are like super respectable or like wowing me to the point where I should be scared of the Falcons defense. He requested us to speak of the Falcons defense. Are you scared of the Falcons defense?
Not scared, but conscious of it.
Yeah,
like it's real. I don't think. Like I said, one game is a small sample size. When you go back to back with it, I'm going to say, all right, you're doing something. You know, stopping an NFL team is hard. It really is. We've had bad defenses here in Detroit, and even bad teams light you up when you have a bad defense. So, no, they do have a formidable defense. Their offense is coming along.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned about their wide receivers. Yeah. I'm concerned about Bijan out of the backfield. I'm concerned about Pitts after what Disley did to us this week.
Yeah, I think... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, but Pitts hasn't done shit this season either, so I have no reason to be worried about him. Just it's my Lions PTSD right now kicking in.
Yeah, I think I'm more concerned about their offense only because I look at the teams they played against the Panthers, who we got to see Bryce Young on national television, kind of freeze up. At a certain point, I mean, I get he's a rookie, but you see where I think it was Miles Sanders had to push him over to line up alongside the center. He was like behind the guard at that point. Like, okay, you held that guy to 10 points. Cool. And then you went, and then Jordan Love, which by the way, I want my flowers when this whole thing goes down. We rank in the NFC North. I had Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings, which the Bears, Vikings flip-flop. I don't care. They both suck. But I respect Jordan Love. This is a guy who's been in the same offensive system for, 3 years before finally getting a nod? And it was Aaron Rodgers who was holding them back.
Yep.
On top of that, they have hella weapons over there. He did perform, by the way, too, without Watson and Aaron Dillon, I'm sorry, against that Falcons defense. 3 touchdowns. I think the final score of that one was like 22-24 or whatever. But I guess reforecasting the landscape of the NFC North, how do you see them falling in line? Are you nervous for the Detroit Lions' chances to win with the upcoming Packers and injuries?
No, I think the Lions should have it on the lock. I look at them and I still see the most talent in the league. I still see the most proven team in the league. You know, that's the thing. The Lions proved it last year with their finish.
Yeah.
And they somewhat proved it a little bit by going to Kansas City. Then they kind of disproved it, but not really last week because of the way they lost once again to a Seattle team at home. But to me, the Lions, this is their division to lose.
Yeah.
You know, you have a rebuilding Packers team with a quarterback who sat behind Aaron Rodgers. That's your biggest competition. The Vikings look like they are a shell of themselves without Delvin Cook. I mean, Mattison's not the guy.
No.
Ty Chandler behind him, not the guy. Jefferson is the guy, but outside of that, yeah, I like Addison a little bit. I don't think he complements as much as Thielen did with Jefferson, but that offense is okay. Their defense is not what it used to be. And then you got the Bears.
Yeah, dude. Fudge.
You thought Justin Fields was going to be a good quarterback.
Bro,
you thought you could rewrite history and be like, I'm going to take the Ohio State kid. He's going to be great for us. Like they've never been before. And then all summer long, all I heard was, we traded for a wide receiver. Our offense is going to be Justin Fields is going to throw. And Justin Fields, the first 2 games, the 32 ranked quarterback in the league on QBR. He is awful. He is not a quarterback. The Lions should put in an offer and see if he can come fill in at running back for us next week, because that's all that kid is ever going to be in the NFL.
I like that idea.
You know what?
We're missing David Montgomery.
Send him a 4th rounder for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I'm okay. We'll Taysom Hill his ass, and we'll have him play all types of weird positions because he is a decent athlete. He just ain't a quarterback. Quit trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
And the fact that Chicago all summer long on, you saw my Twitter, you saw them trying to troll me, you saw them coming, I see them coming at you easy.
Yeah.
I hope these fans are sitting there like, oh my God, we got They sold us on hopes of a Ohio State quarterback being the franchise guy. And they'll sit there and hang on to their Super Bowl from the 80s. Good for you. Nobody cares. Nobody was even born then, really. Like they have just as much relevance as the modern NFL as the Lions do. Just the Chicago fans. Oh, I would feel bad for you if you weren't such pricks.
The only time I found myself actually feeling bad for them is I saw a tweet, and they're like, don't worry, guys. Like, Justin Fields has as many touchdowns at this point than he had, like, halfway through the season last year. It's an improvement. I'm like, what are you watching? This guy is not even debatable. Bad. He was awful at the quarterback position as of now. It's crazy too. I had this rant last week where I actually shit on the organization completely because first and foremost, by the way, I love former Detroit Lions Dan Orlovsky on ESPN.
Yeah,
Dan Orlovsky
fantastic.
Had Justin Fields as an MVP candidate. Where? Why? Why did we give him that? That didn't prove us anything. They had the same thing with Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles, he traded the first round pick. No, I'm sorry, the first overall pick, I should say, for DJ Moore and some other stuff.
Yep.
Remember couple years ago for Trey Lance, they had to give up 3 first-round picks to move it to 3.
Yep.
The Bears only got 1 first-round pick, or swap, and DJ Moore
yep.
for the number 1 overall pick. And people try to say Ryan Poles finessed the Panthers. Get out of here. I've seen a 3rd overall pick over 3 first rounds. He didn't finesse nobody. And then he paid a linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds, $85 million. After they traded away Roquan Smith, who's literally one of the best linebackers in the game. And guess what Roquan Smith signed for? Less than Tremaine Edmonds. I never got the hype around the Bears. I'm glad they look awful. I guess they're the only team.
Listen, they also traded up to get Trubisky at 2. So like, what are you going to do with these guys?
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell they're doing over there, which is great for the Lions.
Yep.
It's great for the Lions. And I'll keep taking it as they give it to me. So come on, Bears fans. Keep rooting for Justin Fields.
Yeah. Brian Boldy, who I love, breaks down a lot of the NFL. He works for NFL Network, former offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. But he does breakdowns on Twitter. He had one today of Justin Fields. 4 seconds. The complaint the Bears fans had for him was like he never had time in the pocket. 4 straight seconds stick with a clean pocket. Didn't run. Didn't throw a ball. Ended up taking a sack. But we knew that. We were the ones telling you guys that Justin Fields and the Bears are going to be ass. The one I said it was kind of surprise ass. I love surprise ass, but
yeah. Is there Vikings. Any better kind?
There's no better kind of surprise ass. But the Minnesota Vikings last year they won 11 games by 1 score, and yes, they won the division. But the Detroit Lions whooped their ass in Minnesota because Dan Campbell made a poor, awful, his worst coaching decision in my opinion in that game. Lost that one. But the Minnesota Vikings were way overrated in my opinion, and I had no fear of them this year. And here they are. Losing those 1-score games they got the better of last year.
Yeah, I don't remember the specific numbers of the graphic that I saw, but Sunday they threw up the graphic of teams the following year after they won 7 or more games by 1 score. And it was like 2 teams had a winning record of like, a massive winning record. 2 more teams had a 500 record, and like 30 teams had losing records after those years.
Yep.
It was really interesting to see how those teams never trend up.
It's
very seldom trend up.
I mean, you're getting lucky winning those games. They had one game against the Bills last year where Josh Allen literally fumbled on their goal line. You remember that?
Yeah.
And the Justin Fields also had like the miraculous catch. Like, that's not good coaching. That's one of those football situations where the ball just bounces your way sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what the Vikings seen time and over again last year. 11 times.
And listen, if the Lions had that happen to them, I'm not turning it down, though. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't want to win by only 1 score. I'll take all the 1-score wins you can get. But yeah, it was a very interesting thing because you would think just by law of averages it would be even, right? Some teams trend up, some teams trend down, but no, like 90% went backwards. It was very, very interesting stat.
My big thing on this show, especially when it comes to football, more than almost any other sport, is the context of the situation. You and Adam had a debate about a guy who used to coach the Texans. I forget his name. Brian. He's the offensive coordinator of the Patriots.
Oh,
now.
Yeah. O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. Yeah. And you guys, he's a good head coach. And
I think he's a good head coach. Yep.
Give the context of the situation. The AFC South at that point was ass. For example, for my guy Cash Eights, he thinks his Falcons are really, really good. Context of the situation. You beat the Panthers and the Packers without Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. Like, the context of the situation makes things look different. We look at the way the Vikings won those 11-0 games. The context was they kind of got lucky. And the Detroit Lions had one of those seasons too. I think we went like 10-9, and then we got us whooped in the playoffs by the Seattle Seahawks. We didn't beat anybody good that year. to give you confidence in saying this is a good team. That's why the Lions hype I bought into, because the context of that 8-2 stretch they went on, they beat the Giants. They beat the Jaguars.
Yep, playoff teams.
Yeah, they beat playoff teams.
Yep.
Smacked them, too, by the way. The Giants, and there was at their house.
Yep.
Same thing. The Jags came to our house, but we went to the Giants' house, who won a playoff game.
Yep.
Beat the Vikings, actually.
Yep.
Whooped their ass.
Yep.
Put our dick at the coffee table and asked for another sandwich. It's context is... Just
Typical
look
Saturday
at numbers
night.
and think your team's going to be good or this guy's good. The context of it. Fuck the Atlanta Falcons. Cash 8s, I see you.
Yeah. Listen,
Lions.
the Lions have control of this division. It's theirs to lose.
Yeah.
If they fumble the bag this year against these teams, there's something seriously wrong. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not getting into the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes hot seat thing. I think that we're way far off from that. But this is an opportunity that they have to put their stamp and to put their legacy on the Lions. Even if it's just a playoff berth this year, and let's say the Lions don't win. Even if they're not hosting a playoff game, I'm okay as long as they're taking a step forward.
Yeah.
And a division championship plus a home playoff game is a major step forward. But then you got to go win that game too.
Packers are the only team that's starting to scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because they're kind of doing this without Christian Watson and Aaron
Love's
Aaron
a good
Jones.
quarterback.
He is. I tried telling people that.
Green Bay knows what they're doing. Look, can we at least give Green Bay that credit?
Especially
Look what they
when it comes
did.
to quarterbacks.
Look what they did with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
They played that right. They probably held on to him a little too long, but they played that right behind Brett Favre. And now it looks like they did the right thing with Jordan Love, too. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the positions that it's okay to slow play a guy. Quarterback being one of them. Because think about Jordan Love is more than game day ready after how much practice he's put in. And just sitting there game after game after game watching Rodgers just saunter in whenever the hell he wants in preseason and just show up. And he put in the work, so he deserves what he's getting right now.
Can you tell us about SMA?
Oh, yeah. SMA, the sports marketing agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast is called This Is the S Word. The S stands for stigma, and they help fight stigma about asking for help. Listen, fellas, we know you're tough. We know that you're the baddest man on the planet, but you know what? We all go through things. Life ain't easy for all of us. We've all been through ups. We've all been through downs, and it's okay to reach out to help. The SMA is here to take the stigma off of that. So make sure you hit them up, the sports marketing agency.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live this Sunday for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market and Shed number 5, and it's going to be a bash. Starting at 9:30 until game time, the official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with the Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP with food and beverages and entertainment all included? Get your tickets today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some for free by DMing Lions VIP to Woodward Sports on Instagram and or Twitter.
Shout out to DJ Don Mecca holding that down, too.
DJ Don Mecca.
That's my guy.
DJ Easy. Why? Woodward Sports with Stick.
Dude, Don Mecca,
Yo, Chris.
He was so pumped when they found out they partnered with us for that because they were doing that last year in the Shed.
Yeah.
And, we were at Brass Rail and for the pre-games and post-games. And this year, Don was like, yo, we got you. We're so excited to have Woodward Sports. And it's a party at those sheds, man.
I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up this week.
And I hope this last week's loss doesn't like rain on the parade down there, because that was like opening day vibes last week, and every Lions game should be like that. I hope like 20-30% don't fall off because they didn't win against Seattle. The team needs y'all to have the same energy coming downtown next week. They need the stands to be just as wild next week. Don't give up because of one loss 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, I'm with you. Moving on. Detroit Lions dropping in power rankings, flying down power rankings. My personal power ranking stick, I have them out.
You have a what?
Have them out of the top 10. Detroit Lions.
It's tough to put a 500 team in the top 10.
Right. Number 1, I put the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Number 2, I had, let me find it real quick. I wasn't able to make the graphic before the show. 49ers, number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
What do you think of them, by the way? You think they're like Super Bowl or what?
Before Tua got hurt last year, they were a machine, man. And if Tua can stay healthy, they're legit. But Waddle got hurt now. Tua most likely will have a concussion throughout the season. That's just playing the odds, man. So as long as they're healthy, they're a problem.
Yeah, that defense. They have Jalen Ramsey coming back here soon too. Yeah, from his injury. I mean, the defense is respectable now too. I mean, Foxborough is a place it's fearful to go into. You're going against, in my opinion, the GOAT and Bill Belichick, and Tua's 5-0 against them.
Yeah, Miami's always given the Patriots issues. Even when Tom Brady was there, they were always tough games for the Patriots for some reason. Like when Tannehill was playing for Miami.
Ugh.
Every once in a while the Patriots would go to Miami and get thumped for no reason. I think it's just, in division, you're familiar. It's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah. I got the Philadelphia Eagles at 3.
Wow. All right.
Cowboys at 4.
Okay. I would expect the Cowboys to be higher.
Yeah. Yeah, I just their offense isn't really showing anything yet. I guess the Jets are really, really good defense. Yeah. So that would make sense. And they did put up 30 points, but when you have that defense aiding them, I think Dak Prescott in the game against New York only completed 14 passes. It wasn't really the offense really do much, But the defense is.
Oh, and you got Micah Parsons scoring touchdowns for you. You really don't have to do much.
He is the best player in the NFL, I think.
So do you agree with Maz on that? That we should have drafted him over Sewell?
Yeah.
At this point, you think that?
I can't say no. He's the best player in the NFL. I love Sewell. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But Micah's is a dog.
I still think at the time Sewell's the right pick, and Sewell still is he's a menace. He's
the captain.
An absolute. And I'm a big fan of making your strength even stronger, and that's what the Lions did with that. At that point, the Lions defense was absolute trash. Like Micah Parsons would have been on an island, him and 10 dudes just out there running around.
Yeah.
So I like that they insulated their offensive line. I really do. But Micah Parsons is that dog, and I hate that I hate that I give Maz any credit for that.
Yeah.
I hate giving Maz credit for anything.
I'm with you. He was right on that one, though. Micah Parsons. Now, by the way, I was against Micah Parsons draft time. I was one of those character guys, but
no,
fuck that. I'm not that guy no more.
Yeah, character doesn't matter.
Give me the Jalen Carters. Give me the Micah Parsons all day.
Yeah,
Ray Lewis killed the guy.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want guys that win Super Bowls. I'm not looking for choir boys. I'm not looking at their records. I want guys that'll go out there and just be dogs who know one thing and one thing only. Now, Dan Campbell, they're doing that, and they're not just going after nice guys. They're going after some badasses, but they have that, Dan Campbell mentality, which I like. But, no, man, there's nothing wrong with having a guy that everybody's afraid of on your team. It's a benefit.
It is.
No.
I mean, especially when they're a good player. Behind them, I had the Ravens at 5. They're 2-0. They just beat the Bengals. I guess Joe Burrow's hurt now too, but the Bengals, the demise of them, kind of by surprise. I don't know how banged up Joe Burrow was for Week 1 in that situation. And obviously, it's rainy too, but I got Jamar Chase in my fantasy personally. It's driving me crazy.
T. Higgins did all right last week.
Yeah, but I don't have T. Higgins, Stick.
I just traded for him.
Help! You the Ravens the real deal?
Huh?
You think the Ravens are the real deal? You don't take that division?
Ravens have been the real deal. They just haven't been able to put it all together. They're another team that injuries. I mean, look at their running back. You're just cycling through J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. You're just going through all those guys. And their defense is always there. I don't care how long it's been, who it is. The Ravens defense is going to be intimidating and scary.
Yeah. I mean, they lost Marcus Williams. You got Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen as the 2 middle linebackers just stepping up, just doing damage.
I think Queen left.
No, he's there. They were doing work.
I'm pretty sure Patrick Queen left.
Patrick Queen?
Yeah, because wasn't he playing last night?
DeMar Davis plays for the Saints.
I could have swore.
No, I'm pretty sure Queen left.
Yeah.
Let me see. Patrick Queen.
His fifth-year option was declined.
Who's the other linebacker they have then?
I don't know.
I'll put it up on. He's playing for. No, he's still with the He's still with the Ravens.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right.
Patrick Queen's a beast.
Then I was wrong.
Don't you guys do that to me. Well, either way, him and Roquan Smith was putting in work when it comes to that Bengals game.
Yep.
Bengals officially out of my top 10, 0-2. I'd say they'd bounce back because they did last year. Different scenario this year. Joe Burrow's hurt. I don't know if they're bouncing back from that 0-2.
No, I mean, this could be a wasted year for the Bengals. And
Yeah.
how unfortunate is that? And that just shows you how delicate the window is in the NFL. I mean, look at the Bills. The Bills you thought were going to be world beaters for at least 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
They had a 2-year window. It's gone now. They ain't never getting back. No one's scared of the Bills anymore. Nobody. They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. That window has closed for the Bills.
Think so?
Yeah. And it's looking like it's closing for the Bengals, too, because, you know, Joe Mixon, another year older on old man Mixon, that's not going to go over well. You're still going to have your wide receiver help, which is great, but without your quarterback, and their line has always been awful. You know, that's why I'm shocked. I'm sure if they told you in the long run drafting Chase was the right thing over Sewell going back to that draft, but they needed offensive line help more than they needed wide receiver help. They still had T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd at that point. Chase was a great complementary piece and is one of the best wide receivers in the league, but if you can't protect your quarterback, what happened year 1 to Joe Burrow? Dislocated hip. What's happening right now? Taking hits. So it's great to have the weapons. You got to protect the guy first.
You know, it fits my narrative, too. 12%. Once you pay a quarterback more than 12% of your salary cap, things start getting thin everywhere else. It's happening. Just saying. We'll see, though.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes kind of shot a hole through that this year for you, but other than
well, that's the one guy I gave exception. Like the guys that
you can't make exceptions and say that's
well, no, because there's 3 exceptions. Their names Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady.
Yeah, so all the guys that prove you wrong are the exceptions.
well, what's one thing in common? No, yeah, they are.
Just take them off the list, and you'll see.
Well, what's 3 things in common with those guys? 3 of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
That's an exception. They're the great. They're considered the GOATs of the sport. Mount Rushmore. Those guys are on it.
I'm with you, Easy. It's just funny how Stick said it like that.
No, that's what Stick does. He's Stick Bayless. That's what he does.
Of course, I'm going to omit the guys that prove me wrong. Yeah. Outside of those guys, am I right? Yeah. Well, of course you're right.
He tried. I'm right. What the hell was I about to say? I don't even remember.
See, there we go. He's off his rocker, boys.
Joe Burrow gone. Bengals are washed this year.
Yeah. So finish up your
Bills,
top 10.
I think the Bills will be good, but I'm with you.
They're good. They're not Super Bowl good.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm not saying the Bills are bad.
Okay. Chiefs, number 6.
Yeah. It's tough, you know, because they lost to the Lions, who then lost to the Seattle. So you can't have the Chiefs up there at number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about this too, I asked this about Spinney, and again, just 2 games, little sample size for it, but it's crazy. Last year, I was being called Uncle Tom because I was like the Eric Bieniemy stuff. You still had Andy Reid calling the plays.
Yeah.
But now Eric Bieniemy's over in Washington, who's 2-0.
Yep.
The offense looking great. Just put up, I think, 20+ points on the Denver Broncos, respectable defense. Then you had the Chiefs, 2 low outputting offensive games without EB.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You think there's part of the Chiefs slowly woes on offense there? Eric Bieniemy being gone or what?
Yeah, anytime there's an adjustment and a guy that has perfected the system with Andy Reid, you know, you're not going to have the same rhythm. Him and Andy Reid worked so long together and so well together. Andy Reid didn't even have to think about offense. Now he does. And I'm not saying that Andy Reid can't do it. He's proven he can do it with multiple teams. But, yeah, Bieniemy is a strong signal caller. That's what he is. Why he hasn't gotten hired for a head coaching gig, I don't know.
He's an asshole, I heard.
It could be he's an asshole. It could be that Andy Reid was calling more of the plays. It could be several things. It could. My theory was he was waiting for Andy Reid to leave so he could just slide in and take over KC.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was the natural progression of what Kansas City's doing, except Andy Reid's like, no, I'm good. I'm not giving up this seat.
I'm okay.
Yeah, like it went from I should be gone in 5 years if we win a Super Bowl to I want to see how many Super Bowls I can win.
Yeah.
And that's when he had to go take off. But to take a lateral position in Washington is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Commanders put up 35 points, by the way, easy.
35 points? Yeah, I know they put up some numbers. I mean, Sam Howell looked way better.
Yeah, Logan Thomas, the tight end, you know.
He knocked out of the game.
He got knocked the hell out of him. But you're seeing he had a touchdown before that. So you're seeing the tight end kind of working. He's not Travis Kelce. Don't even say that I'm thinking he's Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
But he's in that role now. So he's going to get those looks. I'm shocked that Antonio Gibson hasn't done a lot better in this offense. I thought they would use him a lot more.
Yeah.
But
he's kind of just been disappointing all around. Brian Robinson's tearing it up, though.
Yeah, Gibson had a good rookie year. But outside of that, yeah.
Yeah. I got to tell you guys about, I don't know what, because I have my thing in front of me.
Fairway Packing.
I got to tell you about Fairway Packing. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop over in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or online at fairwaypacking.com.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Woodward Sports own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Now, how would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your friends, live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter your chance to win. Register at drinksyntron.com/Vegas and buy Syntron at your local Meijer store. It's Syntron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and for people who desire to look good, feel good, and be the best version of themselves. drinksyntron.com/Vegas for more information.
What up? Welcome back to World Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. I'm Easy. Got Stick on in for Spin More Racks.
Hey.
Happy birthday, Spinny. The like button for my guy, Spin More Racks. We took a day off his birthday. Come on.
Yeah. So soft.
Young Chris.
You
JB
young
Smooth.
whippersnappers taking your birthdays off. When I was growing up, we never took our birthday. Like, I bet you Spenny's the type of kid that his mom would pull him out of school, too, when it was his birthday. You want to stay home today, honey?
That's lit, though.
What? So you can sit by yourself on your birthday? No, I want to be with my classmates.
I'll take Bryson out. That'll be something cool.
Getting the birthday hugs for shorties. You know?
That is true.
Right. The birthday hugs.
Not confirmed, yeah. Oh, man, you're going to be girl dad. You might have to take her out.
Yeah, I got my kid coming in February.
You guys got a name yet?
I think so.
Waiting to reveal it?
Yeah, I don't want to put it on air right now.
That's fair.
It's you'll appreciate it.
Lysandra.
No. Chastity.
Tammy Lynn.
Right, cinnamon.
Drop in a name recognition for Stick and his brand new baby coming up here soon.
That's right.
Speaking of coming up here soon, we got Glover Quinn joining the show. I'm excited to talk to him because the Lions game, man, I can see it through my eyes, but it's different the way a former NFL, not just an NFL player, I'm a Pro Bowl, all-pro player like Glover Quinn sees it. Like we had a caller calling yesterday and was kind of bitching about him being in zone coverage. From my perspective, it was a lot more man coverage, and they switched to zone, but still was getting killed in both of them. But again, it's the same question I guess posed to you that I want to ask Glover is like, it was the pro, the X's and O's, or the Joes? Because Jerry Jacobs looked like he was getting slaughtered either way. It didn't matter who was in there.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear from like pro players because they watch the game a little bit different than all of us. Just like after you worked in a restaurant, like you sit down at a restaurant a little bit different than you used to. Like, wait a minute, I noticed the busboy and all that. You notice little intricacies that and that's why I love when I fill in for Ermanni and Edwards, get to talk to Braylon. Like, hey, draft night, what was draft night like? Because they have insight that you can't have. And yeah, I want to know when Glover Quinn watches that and sees it 2 years in a row. Because that's the thing. If it happens to you once, it's like, okay, they had a good game. Now it's like, okay, what do they know about this defense that nobody else has been able to figure out and abuse Detroit like Seattle has? So I'm excited to hear that, and just his perspective on what the secondary is right now, especially after losing CJ. Because without CJ, your heart and soul and your attitude,
yes.
Where does that leave you? And what does that do to a team when you lose that guy? Because he's still going to be in the locker room, I'm sure. He's still going to be barking. But it's different when you're barking in your warm-ups than when you're barking when you got the helmet on and you know you're about to go to war with your boys.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is like I'm not – it sucks to lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. There's no way around it, no way about it. It's unfortunate, but we've seen his team perform last year without him. Same thing with Tracy Walker too. But the thing is, this time around is we're blessed to have a Tracy Walker.
Yes.
So I'm not that concerned.
It's really I don't want to say lucky because it's not lucky that Tracy Walker's been hurt, but it's really timely that Tracy Walker's kind of been waiting in the wings, and now we need him more than ever.
Yes. And we're having some VMix issues, so what we're going to do is have Glover Quinn call in the station, and we'll talk to him then. But again, I want that breakdown from him. And he knows AG personally. He had a personal relationship with AG. Does he look at defensive coordinator? Is that are we really do we feel that way? Is he on any type of hot seat?
I hope Glover Quinn gets on here and just laughs when we bring that up. Anybody who wants to say that AG is on the hot seat right now is just so stupid. Look at the last 10 games. I'm not talking about the last game.
Yeah.
And even in that last game, you got put in some really bad positions,
Mm-hmm.
The pick six doesn't count against you. The turnover inside your zone shouldn't count against you. It will, but it shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's essentially just giving them 7 points. So you take away those 14 points in regulation, what did they give up? They gave up 16 points.
Yep.
What's wrong with that?
It's good. Yeah.
Well, you should win all those games. It's the turnovers that cost them, not the defense. If you give up 7 points in the first half and you give up 9 in the second, your defense is doing the right thing outside of the 2 offensive blunders.
I agree. Well, we are joined by former All-Pro and Detroit Lion, Glover Quinn. What up, though, man?
Not much, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man. I appreciate you joining the show. We were just kind of having the conversation on air because obviously Detroit Lions defense was somewhat disappointing in the game, but I thought they were put in tough positions. Do you think, from what you got to watch, was it more of a defensive coordinator AG lack of game plan, or was it lack of Joe's? Was Jerry Jacobs out there getting cooked no matter what?
I mean, I think it probably was a little bit of both. I think, Jerry Jacobs, I don't know if he's even an original corner. I mean, looking at him, seeing his body, he looks like a safety. And when I went out to training camp, when I left, I was like, man, I didn't really – our depth at corner seemed a little lacking because generally your third corner plays nickel, but we have a safety at nickel. So I really only saw Jerry Jacobs and Cam Sutton because obviously Ermanni was hurt. So I think it was a little bit of both. And scheme-wise, I mean, they did some stuff that I felt like probably shouldn't have done. But, I mean, you're calling the game. Things happen. When plays work, everybody praise it. When they don't work, everybody thinks you should have done something else. I thought we could have got more pressure being that they didn't have their 2 offensive tackles. But it just seemed like to me, when you look at it, and we can all say that they got put in bad situations, and granted, yeah, you can't control the pick six. You can't control where the offense fumbles the ball. My thing is it's those drives in the fourth quarter and the second half where it's like third down and you can't get a stop. And it seems like they're just converting, and they go down there and score. So then that forces you to have to try to make a play. Obviously, the throw that Jared Goff had was not a great throw, but it's just forcing you offensively to have to try to do much more because you're not getting stops. And they did fairly well stopping the run. but it seemed like Geno has a career game every time he plays against us, and that happens sometimes. You just sometimes certain players and teams just have your number.
Yeah, that's honestly that's where I was going to go with this next question. Why does it seem like Seattle can do things to Detroit that no other team has done the past 2 seasons against these guys?
Yeah, I just think that's one of those things where, like I say, sometimes a team just has your number. From a coaching standpoint, player standpoint, mentality standpoint, they just have your number. And sometimes players are the same way. Regardless of who's the coach or who's not the coach, every time they play against a certain team or they play in a certain stadium, they always tend to have a good game. Or vice versa, they always tend to have a bad game. It just be like that. That's just a part of it. And so, seeing how they played in week 1, playing against Seattle and losing like that in week 2, we'll see how they play against, Atlanta in week 3. But I don't think it's time to panic right now and start calling for jobs and stuff like that. It's just something about that matchup that doesn't bode well for the Detroit Lions.
So what you've seen during the first 2 weeks of the season, what do you think the Lions are? Or is it way too early to even tell?
I think it's way too early to tell. I mean, I think what they want to be, offensively, I think they want to try to run the ball just enough to throw the ball. I think they really want to throw the ball and put up points. I don't think they want to win a game 17-10. I think they, Ben Johnson's the offensive coordinator. They go on those streaks of 30-plus points last year, and they love that. So I think they want to score 30, 35 points a game. And so even if the run game is working and they're getting 6, 7 yards a pop, I don't think they'll run the ball 5 times in a row just because the defense can't stop them. I mean, you look at the first game of the season. They came out in first play of the season, they get 7 yards on a run play, and then the next 2 plays are passes.
Yeah.
So I think they want to light up the scoreboard. They run it just enough to keep the play-action game open, just enough to keep you honest. But I don't think if the run game is just going and they're getting 4, 5, 6 yards a pop, that they'll run the ball 35 times a game and only throw it 20. That's just my opinion. Defensively, I don't really know. I think they, C.J. Gardner-Johnson tried to bring some attitude, some this to that defense. But at the end of the day, you got to get pressure on the quarterback, and you got to create turnovers. You got to figure out a way to get the ball. And, losing him is going to hurt tremendously. Losing James Houston, that's going to hurt, So they got to figure some stuff out. And I don't really know exactly what they want to be on defense. Are they a man team that just blitzes? Are they a zone team that blitzes? Are they like a quarters team? I don't really know what they want to be defensively.
GQ, I know we had the issues getting you on through VMix. Do you care if we do a quick break and circle back?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Stick, you want to tell us about Lady Jane's?
Yeah, you want to get a haircut like mine? I literally just got my haircut by Megan over there. Usually it's Alyssa, but Megan was available because I mistimed it. I thought the show today was from 6 to 8. Turns out it was from 5 to 7, so I had to come in. Walked right in. Megan was available. Alyssa was not, but Megan was available. Took my haircut, got me looking all slick and smooth. So walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, locations all over Metro Detroit with these precision cuts. It's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf at downtown's newest sports bar. Has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout for 50% off your first visit, or visit 5irongolf.com to tee up good times. It's 5irongolf.com. What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights. I'm Easy. We got my guy Stick, almost called you Spimo Rex. We're also joined.
That's all right.
By All-Pro, Pro Bowler, former Detroit Lions safety, Glover Quinn. GQ, I wanted to ask, I guess, like, just from last year into this year, what is your assessment of AG as a defensive coordinator in general, beyond the Seattle Seahawks game?
I mean, I think he's done, fairly well for what he's had to work with. They've tried to build a system. They've had a bunch of young guys. They've had a lot of injuries and stuff going on. And I think, a lot of times when you want to run a complex system and be able to mix things up on the front seven, you got to have good secondary play. And every year, it's been Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah gets hurt. Tracy Walker gets hurt. This guy, they haven't really had, ever since Slay left, and they haven't really had that corner that could just man a guy up or lock up a side, healthy safeties, playmaker guys that allows you to be able to do more things up front complexity-wise. So if you don't feel you have those things on the back end, it limits what you want to do on the front because you don't want to leave those guys out to dry. So I think he's kind of getting caught in the middle because he's a DB. He wants to do certain things on the back end, but they gotta get the right guys in there. And then, when you start looking at things up front, I think they got to do a little better job to get Aiden some one-on-one matchups. He gets a lot of double teams. They got to do some things scheme-wise, stunt-wise, to get him freed up. Aiden is a good player, don't get me wrong, but I think Micah Parsons is a good player too, and the Cowboys find ways to get him schemed up, to get some one-on-ones, to wrap him around, to get some free rushes. He's getting 1 and 2 sacks a game, and we can't even get one. So I think they can do a better job and figure out ways to scheme guys up. But I think for the most part, he's been doing a decent job.
So flipping on over to the offensive side, because I know you play defense, but obviously you know the entire game inside and out because you've got to study offense too. Earlier in the show, we were kind of debating why they're slow rolling out guys like Jamison Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously Williams this year because of the suspension, but even when he was healthy last year, his first game he only got 8 snaps, second game he only got 11 snaps. This year with Jahmyr Gibbs, you draft him number 12 overall, and he's got 14 carries through 2 games. As a former NFL player, do you believe that these players need to get acclimated to the NFL speed before they go out there? Or do you think, like me, if you draft a guy at number 12, he should be ready to go day one?
Well, it's hard to sit here and say that a guy could be ready to go day one if you draft him at number 12. You look at some of these quarterbacks that got drafted number 1, 2, and 4 or 5 in the draft, and I'm looking at some of the games, and I'm like, okay, I get it, playing quarterback is hard. But, last year you guys were just throwing the ball accurately, hitting guys wide open, corner routes. Now I see some of the throws you guys are making. I'm like, that's a simple corner route, and you're throwing the ball 5 yards out of bounds. I get it, but that guy's wide open. So I don't know what it is. It takes some time to get acclimated. But at the end of the day, it's all about, do you trust the organization? Do you trust the coaches? Because at the end of the day, they're at practice with those guys every day. They're in the meetings with those guys every day. They know if those guys are picking up the scheme, understanding the blitzes, understanding all the plays, understanding all the checks, because it may be, hey, he's talented when he gets in the game, but we only got a certain amount of plays that we can call because he don't understand the pass protection. He doesn't understand these different things. And so it may be stuff like that that we don't even know about because we don't get to go to practice every day. We're not in the meetings with those guys. And there's times where, like I say, guys are super talented, but it just takes a little bit to understand how everything works. So you kind of have to work them in bits and pieces till they start to grasp everything. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but we don't know what the reason is. But now, hey, he's going to have to be ready to go.
Yeah, now there is no waiting. There's no holding back. He's the RB1 going into this week.
Yeah.
Right, and like I said, when you look at the Lions' offense, I don't think that they got Jahmyr Gibbs to carry the ball 20 times a game. I really don't. I think they got him to create more mismatches in the pass game with linebackers and things like that. Flex him out, get a safety on him, get a linebacker on him, something like that, and then be able to, capitalize on those things. I don't think they got him to run between the tackles or run the ball 20 times a game. That's why they got Montgomery to try to do those things. So when they put Jahmyr in, it's more of a change of pace. All his runs have been, for the most part, outside runs. Why don't they give him some of those same quick hitting runs right up the middle where he can get his foot in the ground and maybe get some yards the same way they give David Montgomery those carries. So, it's all about how they're trying to use guys and what they're trying to do in their vision. And sometimes it takes things like this, injuries, to force him to have to do more. And then if he obviously handled those situations well, then they'll have that in their pocket going forward, even when David Montgomery gets back.
GQ, I got to ask, now that you get to relax and kind of enjoy the NFL as a fan, how do you view the landscape of the NFC North after the Packers go 1-1 with a close game against Atlanta, then Detroit now 1-1 too?
Well, I think it's going to be a division that, it'll be a close division between those three teams. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to be an average team. They're going to win some games. They're going to lose some games. I think Minnesota's going to win some games. They're going to lose some games. I think it'll probably come down to the Lions in Minnesota if I got to choose right now. And so I think the Lions should be able to pull it off. But they have to get out of their own way. They got to play smarter. They got to execute, and they got to find a way to stay healthy. This is a big game coming up, and the thing about these last three games is these have all been NFC games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I guess 2 games. Playing against Seattle, that's an NFC game. They lost that game. Right? Playing against Atlanta coming up, that's an NFC game. And when you look at the NFC South, the Saints are 2-0, Atlanta's 2-0, the Bucs are 2-0. And no, we don't expect either one of those teams to go and win the Super Bowl, but one of those teams are going to have to win a division. That means the other team is going to be looking for a wild card. When you look at the West, the 49ers at this point look like they're going to win that division. That means the Rams and Seattle are going to be looking for a wild card. And you don't want to lose this game, and now you're 2 tiebreakers behind those guys, to where if you don't go and win your division, it's going to be hard to get in from a tiebreaker standpoint with these losses. So they got to go out and win this game on Sunday.
GQ, real quick, obviously CJDJ is gone for quite possibly the season now with the torn pec. But now Tracy Walker is going to look towards him to step in. I know you were there when he first came to the league, a little bit of a mentor for him. What are some of the highlights and strengths of him that you may see out of him starting out with the Detroit Lions?
Well, he's obviously experienced. He's played. He understands. He can make plays. I think, with him and Kirby Joseph, because I think Tracy is more of a free safety, but he has some aggressiveness to him. He's a good cover safety, so he'll be able to match up well with the tight ends. He's a good tackler as well. He's a rangy guy. And so I think, he's going to have to step in and play a good role. He was the guy. He got hurt. Next thing you know, they bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Kirby Joseph had a good year last year, so then those 2 guys come in, and they're the starters this year, and now you're trying to find your way back. But 2 or 3 years ago, they paid you good money to be their guy. And I was expecting them to figure out a way to trade him in, this season with cuts coming up, because you had Gardner, you had Branch, you had Kirby Joseph. So I'm like, they're paying Tracy a lot of money to be a backup safety, right? So I'm like, I don't think they'll cut him, but I think they'll look to trade him. They didn't, and it paid off, because now in week 2, week 3, you need him to step in. You just need him to step in and be ready to go. He obviously had the Achilles injury, so we're hoping that that's fine, ready to go, and he can hold up, because if not, now that secondary depth gets tested, because you lost your starter, you lost your backup. Now what do? Do you move Brian Branch back to safety? Okay, well then now we need another nickel. Who are those guys? And that could present some problems.
We got a good question in our chat right now, too. Glover, when you guys had the top-ranked defenses from Paul Thomas, what was the formula and what made it work? Like, what was the secret sauce of that defense?
I mean, we had it on every level. That's how it was the secret sauce. We had a good D-line. We had Sue and Farley in the middle. We had C.J. Mosley coming in as well in the middle. We had young Ziggy Ansah. We had a George Johnson. We had a Jason Jones. So we had a good D-line. You look at our linebackers. We had a DeAndre Levitt. We had a Stephen Tulloch. We had Ashley Palmer. We had a young Tahir Whitehead. So we had linebackers as well. So then when you look at the secondary, we had a Rasheem Mathis. We had a Slade. We had me. We had James Hedebo. We had guys.
Hedebo was a dog.
Yeah.
Right. We had guys that fit together. So defensively, we didn't have to necessarily blitz a lot, because our D linemen could stop the run and they could get pressure on the quarterback. Our linebackers could take care of the run. So now you can keep your safeties high, because your linebackers and your D linemen are making most of the tackles. So when you can do that, now you can play good pass defense, because you got all of your DBs still alive in the pass game. And then they're not just running it down your throat, because you got a D lineman and linebackers that can stop the run, and the safeties don't have to get involved as much. So when you can do that on all 3 levels, you're going to end up having a good defense. You look at the 49ers, they got a good D-line, they got good linebackers, and then you can have good secondary play, right? Every time you look at it, you're going to have 3 levels. If you don't have 3 levels, you're going to be hurting. You can have the best secondary, but if they can't get pressure on the quarterback and he gets to hold the ball all day, then it's going to be tough on that secondary. You can have the best D lineman, but if he can get rid of the ball in 2 seconds to wide open guys, they're not going to be able to get there. So you got to have it on all 3 levels. So the D-line got to be good enough to be able to get pressure on the quarterback without having to send blitzes every time. Because every time you send a blitz, you're taking guys away. So that puts more pressure on somebody else. If the blitz don't get there, now we're left out to dry.
Right.
So that's what you got to have. Right. You got to have guys that can get to the passer without a blitz. You got to have linebackers and D linemen that can stop the run without adding a safety. And then you got to have secondary guys that can hold up and cover to give those guys time to work. And when you do those things consistently, get turnovers and stuff like that, you're going to end up playing good defense over the course of the year.
That's why I think the lack of pass rush in that Seattle game is partly why they're getting cooked in the secondary. He had all day.
They went 7 quarters without a sack. 7 quarters to start the season without a sack. That's problematic.
Yeah. GQ, I know you get a lot of questions about coaching, and I know you're retired. You still doing the framework stuff for the jerseys?
Oh yeah, I was in there working today.
Any future endeavors you got going on you want to shout out before we let you get going?
Oh man, that's really about it, man. I do my framing, man. Y'all can check it out. It's fun. It's a hobby. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say a hobby, because I've kind of started a little business with it. But it's fun. It's just something that I like to do, and it keeps me going. I get all the questions all the time about coaching and this and that. And I mean, NFL coaching is not something that I aspire to be. It's a little too much for me right now. I got 3 young boys myself that are 13, 11, and 8 years old. So they're in the prime of their youth, kind of sports and growing up. And so it's just very hard for me to just take myself away from them to go and coach, grown men. and you know my own kids are getting left out, and so that's some things that kind of keep me away from that aspect. You know, I'm always open to help out any way that I can, but it's just difficult for me to go and take a coaching job. So I don't even think about that. I just kind of do what I do and chime in wherever I can.
GQ, before I let you get going, last thing. Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons this weekend. Who you got?
Well, I mean, I got to go with the Lions. I don't feel like I can just say the Falcons. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think the Falcons are a tough team. They're young. The running back is good. They got wide receivers. They got a good tight end. You know, I mean, that tight end last week was killing us. You know, this tight end, Kyle Pitts, I mean, he's way more athletic than Fant or whatever that tight end.
Better than Will Dissly and Noah Fant?
Right. Good so, God. I mean, we're going to have our hands full, especially missing the pass rusher and our safety. And so, you know, defensively they play well. I mean, they were getting beat by a couple scores against Green Bay, and they were able to hold up defensively and offensively, get back in the game, and they end up winning that football game. So it's not going to be an easy game for them. And so they got to lick their wounds quickly, heal up, get back to work, and come out Sunday ready to go.
GQ, I appreciate you as always, man.
Yeah, appreciate your time, man.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Go Lions.
Go Lions, baby.
Yes, sir. All right.
Chris, why don't you tell us about Glorious Cannabis?
Let me tell you guys about Glorious Cannabis. Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good. It's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. Gotta be bittersweet. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. They are so smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Code Woodward Glorious. www.gloriouscanna.com for more information.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Darren McCarty hates weed in your lawn. That's the only place he hates weed, is when it's on your lawn. And if you're a landscaper, today is a day for you to maybe landscape with a legend. Jim and Angela Sape from the Outdoor Equipment will be here, and one lucky landscaper will get a day with D-Mac on their crew. He's with the zero turn. He's got the weed whip. He's edging. He's doing everything that you need to do. Go to OutdoorEquipCo.com right now. That's OutdoorEquipCo.com right now, and you could be whipping with D-Mac.
Happy Spinny Day.
Hey,
welcome
happy birthday, Spenmo.
Happy birthday, Spenmo. He's out to get a tattoo. We'll get some pictures of that. We'll get some pictures of it tomorrow. He never replied for the V-Mix. I told him.
Oh, it's my birthday. I'm taking the day off.
Took 2 days off.
I'm gonna give him shit about that forever. Forever.
Deservedly so.
Yeah.
Deservedly so.
That's soft, man. That's soft, Spenmo. You're not soft like that.
If you guys are out somewhere, take a shot of... did we tell him to take a shot of gin?
No.
By the way, he was never a gin.
What is with y'all drinking gin?
No, it's him.
I don't understand that.
Gin is so gross. It's like drinking pine cones,
He
man.
used to be a Don Juan guy. Then he started talking to this girl. Now he doesn't drink his gin.
Like, and it's not even like Bombay Sapphire gin. He's drinking like Seagram
He's
straight out of
drinking
the
Hendrix gin, like all day, every day. Matter of fact, for his birthday, that's what I got him, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, bro, that's more than enough. That's all I need." I was like, "Are you sure?" I gave him chances, and he chose that.
I at least got him tequila
The first time I ever tried gin was at University of Detroit in the hallway outside my dorm room, and I just took a swig out of a half pint, and it was the most disgusting taste of alcohol I've ever had in my life.
It's horrible.
I don't understand it.
I literally last night was like, it's crazy that like it's a thing, that people continue to make it, that people continue to purchase it. Like it's I don't know. Overwhelmingly majority of people hate gin.
Yeah, well, old ladies playing rummy, love it. That's all I know. I just know gin is an old lady drink. Like, that's it.
That's fair. Well, either way, happy birthday, Spinny. I appreciate you guys tapping in, Stick. I appreciate you filling in for Spinny, too.
Yeah, anytime.
Appreciate you not pulling a Stick Bayless. You tried.
I got you rocked a little bit. I got you off kilter a little bit, just a little bit. But you really don't have, like, a ton of stupid takes out there in the world right now.
I appreciate you, man.
Sometimes you do, and I've hit you on those. Like, we've gone back and forth on those. But right now, I feel like your brain has evolved around sports where I can't clown on you as much.
It's always been nice. It's always been nice.
You used to have some wild things, man.
They
some
all came
wild
true.
stuff.
They all came true.
Yeah.
Except for the exceptions, Skip.
Yeah.
Except for the exceptions.
Right. That's Easy's game, though. He'll throw out some wild shit, and then like the graphics he had you throw up for Jameer today. Those are worthless. Those support no argument.
The support. You should calm down. That's what supports.
Do you know how many running backs has had like 3 to 7 carries in their first 2 games? Almost all of them. Like that's just how it is.
Well, that's why we stopped freaking out, though. See?
There are a lot of busts that you left off that list that had the same numbers too.
That's fine.
You only highlighted like 4 guys who had decent NFL careers.
I want a pro comps. Like those guys, some fair pro comps for Jameer. No, are they not?
They're comps, but you left out umpteen other comps. We're talking about 2 games, 14 carries. Do you know how many crappy running backs have come in the league and have gotten 6 carries in a game?
Some good ones too.
Yeah. Did you throw up Benny Snell's comps? No, of course you didn't.
Benny Snell got 0 carries his first 2 games. That guy, that's not a comp. But I appreciate you guys joining. Hit the like button if you haven't already. 5-star review on podcast platforms. Make sure you guys follow myself, Stick, Chris, JB on social media, Twitter if you want to continue to talk that shit.
Yeah. Let's have fun, Detroit.
Yes, sir. We out.